So we're going to talk about micro training today. Small, quick blocks of learning that gets your student into the headset, a couple points Portsmouth PD wants them to get, and gets them back out the door into the street, versus having to set up a huge, training room, a huge scenario. My name is Tony Harrison. I'm a retired captain from the Sheriff's Office in Pennington County, South Dakota, which is where Mount Rushmore is. I spent 26 years there in law enforcement, retiring as a captain. In August of 2022, I retired, and now I work for Axon. What am I looking for? White lights. If I see white lights, I'm happy. If I see red lights, what do I got to do? I got to fix it. I got to get at the problem. Well, guess what I see? I see a bunch of white lights, which is good. Axon is a company based in Phoenix, and we produce and make body cameras. Tasers is what we're really well known for, as well as we have lots of other areas we work in, but the area I work in specifically is virtual reality and VR headgear. When we're doing that stuff inside that virtual reality headset, your brain is rewriting and it's making memories, and therefore when you need to apply some of this down the road on your night shift at 3 o'clock in the morning when you got to deal with a similar scenario, you're going to have a reference point to go back to in your head and go, I've done this before.
This training can be very different than other ones that we go through. They're actually involved. They're part of the scenario and they have to figure out how to respond. They can make mistakes here and replay the scenario and still be in a realistic type environment.
When you get done, just set your headset up on your head like a set of sunglasses. When you get done, we're going to talk about it. Go back to the lobby and we'll talk about it. We have 25 individually built scenarios of people in different states of crisis. So they can get individual training from different types of people in crisis, to include case law decisions and other use of force training options that can be very specific to whatever the need of the agency is.
With specific scenarios, especially with people who are dealing with mental crisis, now we can put the officer into the eyes of the individual who's dealing with the crisis. We can funnel in sound so that it allows them to feel or hear what those people in crisis are hearing or feeling. And then we flip the scales on them and they have to respond as the officer, so they see both perspectives in the scenario.
Did you know in that scenario, you can throw Michael on the ground and have Dad at taser point? You can in that scenario. You can go down that path. Is there a problem with going down the wrong path in this headset? Why not? You'll learn. Would you rather that kid learn on night shift with you to say, as an instructor, make every wrong decision you can inside this headset, every wrong decision? What came out of it? Because does the chief of Portsmouth want the video of your guys holding Michael on the ground with Dad at taser point? No. So let's do it in the headset and let's learn it. It's a safe place to have those mistakes made, and then the instructors can go through and say, hey, I see you made this decision. Let's talk about your decision and why you made it. And let's retrain that training process and that training thought process so that out there in the real world, when the citizens of Portsmouth are the ones being dealt with, that process is more safe and better for the community.
I think the community is going to be able to see real tangible results for our officers. Our officers are going to be able to respond to calls for service before they actually have to respond to calls for service, make the mistakes in training, allow an instructor or somebody who's senior to review those mistakes and try and guide them in a better direction. It'll allow for better responses to the community from the threats that we see or from the calls for service that the community wants us to respond to.